The program is called the Museum Youth Curator Experience, and we refer to them as MYCE for short. The program has been running since 2002 for 3 weeks during the summer here in the Arizona History Museum. They do everything that a regular curator in a museum would do. They have to choose their topic, they have to do all the research, select the photographs, select the images and maps. They have to do their own writing, and we have to go through the editing through the publications department. They have to design and then construct their exhibit. And it doesn't end there, because then they have to also put together an opening, and they have a budget where they have to find the food and send out the invitations and stuff like that. It's much different than learning from the classroom. This is a very hands-on, working with museum professionals in a professional atmosphere. To create an exhibit that a lot of people don't realize students create at the very end. They think it's just part of the Arizona Historical Society staff. This year, what they chose to do was how people keep cool in the desert.
This year's project, we're focusing on surviving the heat in Arizona and how people used early methods to now of trying to stay cool in the heat. The title is Keeping Cool, Escaping the Heat. We're going from early methods like hanging sheets in front of your window at night to current days where we can just turn on the air conditioning and feel the nice cool breeze.
They have looked at everything from the original architecture of the Sosa Carrillo Fremont house before there was electricity or anything, and how did people keep cool then, all the way to the advent of the electricity and how that created ice houses and refrigerated air conditioning. The great thing about this is they tie it into Tucson history, and found out that the first commercially refrigerated building was the Fox Theater. So they're learning a little bit more about history and not just, you know, the technical part of air conditioning. So that's what's really cool about that.
These kids would never have known those types of things, those type of references of swamp coolers or ice boxes. You know, everybody hears, oh, ice box. Oh yeah, an ice box. Sure, that's what my grandparents say about their old refrigerator. And now these kids know how it works. When it came to Tucson, their local community, when a lot of these innovations and advancements, huge advancements, came to their communities.
I was surprised that actually the air conditioner was invented before the swamp cooler, and that the swamp cooler this is one of the only states that you can use a swamp cooler in, because in a lot of the other places the moisture kind of counters that and it's too humid and it doesn't work as well. A swamp cooler is a fan inside a box or some sort of a container of some sort with an opening on one side, and on the other straw or pads of some sort that collect moisture that either you spray or you have some sort of system that gets them wet, and it sucks in air through these pads, and which creates this cool air that then goes inside the house or the place that is being cooled.
It started looking at oyas used by some of the earliest populations, and then all the way up to the first air-conditioned building and theater here in Tucson. An oya is basically a pot or a gourd, depends on the tribe or the materials available to different populations, that they use to hold water, and then through evaporation and then condensation, it's a way to cool off the water. Something I didn't even know, the students taught me that.
If you had been living 100 years ago, what would be some of the ways that you would be keeping yourself cool?
Well, I would definitely at night be putting wet sheets inside my window. I would probably be eating a lot of watermelon and drinking a lot of drinks that could keep me cool. I would swim in the Santa Cruz River because that was there back then, or if I had the money, I'd possibly go down to the Carrillo Gardens. For sleeping, I would usually at night they would put the bed sheets there or a cot, and there would be an oya or a water pan of some sort under this cot that you use that would push up the air up through the cot up to you, so it would keep you cool. And sometimes people would sleep outside or on sleeping porches.
The MYCE program is designed for teens to basically come up with an exhibit from start to finish. It's a program that includes all aspects of museum work, including research in the archives and library, going down into collections with artifacts and gathering information and pieces of a story to create an exhibit to teach the public. And we don't discount what the kids do. We have them do the entire process from design to research to construction to installation. They are fully responsible for generating the ideas and developing the story and then implementing that story into a three-dimensional space to teach the public about their story.
They are always coming up with ideas that we never thought of before. They come up with topics that we don't have exhibits of in the regular museum, and it's just the fact of working with them and seeing how quick they take on the responsibility of really putting together a full exhibit. It just amazes me. And to hear them talk about how they're in control of their own learning and it's not like working in a classroom situation, those are the kind of things that I really like hearing from them, because then you know they're really learning, and who knows, maybe we'll get a future curator out of one of these programs.
The kids learned the whole spectrum of museum work. So every kid did writing, editing, white gloves, handling artifacts, handling sensitive, one-of-a-kind, priceless primary resources for the state too, which most teens never even get to go back into an archive, let alone get to hold maps from the 1890s of Tucson and the ice houses in Tucson. So it's just great to see history come alive and tied directly to their community in these kids, and see them take the project away to where they're running it and we're just hanging on.